Hello everybody and hi, my name is Kieran, but you may not know that because where have I really been? These uploads ain't consistent. Yes, it's been a while since I've actually uploaded according to the schedule that I really wanted to be upholding. If you don't know, the schedule I'm trying to go for is 5 uploads a week, 2 or 3 of them being a series and 2 or 3 of them being an indie game. I'm sort of leaning towards Tuesday, Thursday being series day and then covering the indie games and with all the other slots I have open. I wanted to mention what's been going on in my life, and I thought it'd be fun to just have a nice little update, you know, just sit and chat, have a dialogue with each other. There's been a lot of changes in the last week or so, even just in the last few days. It was 1 or 2 Mondays ago. Well, by the time this comes out, it might be 3 Mondays ago. I woke up in the morning, nice, bright and early, and I came into the office and I sat down and I said, let's get to work. And I checked my phone to see if there were any messages, anything pressing that I needed to address. First message I got that day was that I was being let go as an editor. So I lost my job. It's totally amicable. There's no problems or ill will. It was totally fine. My focus was being divided pretty harshly between my own channel and his, and it was showing in the work, and in his position I do the same thing, so no ill will there. But that was how I started that Monday. So then I sat on that for a minute and I was like, okay, making adjustments to my life plans going forward. And then my mom came in and said she was going to the ER because she was having some sickness issues, ended up getting an organ just ripped out of her. So she spent a while in the hospital. She's doing really well though now, so don't worry, she's doing great. And I also found out that I'm going to be moving out of my house in the pretty near future. My situation has become such that it's just makes more sense for me to move out and go be on my own. If you don't know, I live with my parents, and soon I won't be. It's not that I'm being kicked out or anything. I don't want any kind of conjecture around that. It is up to me. It's my decision that I'm doing this at this time. It just seems like this is the time it's gotta be, so this is the time it's gotta be. Which made losing my income stream a bit more stressful. And then I was starting to make panic plans where I was like, okay, gotta find a new job, gotta get it quick, gotta get going, gotta get moving. Except that my grandpa, a few weeks earlier, his car was totaled. And so given that I'm a little gremlin boy and I spend all my time here in this room recording and talking to myself, I don't get my car used very often, so it was lent to him. So I was really in a interesting, stressful place of there was a lot of things happening that were out of my control, and there was little I could do to remedy any of it, which is a very difficult position to be in, for me at least. I like to have control as often as possible, which is not a unique thing to me, and I recognize that. But that was a difficult period to just be sitting and waiting. You know, it's not what I like to do. I like to be making plans and putting things in motion and getting in action, making dreams become realities. But I really wasn't able to do it. There was just too many external factors where there's nothing I could do. And I just had to sit and I had to wait, and I just sort of allowed myself to recognize that I was processing things emotionally and then just kept going on with my day in spite of that. And the aspect of moving out that is the most daunting for me is if you don't know and you're some kind of creep that would like to know. I live in Calgary. It's a big city in Canada. Lots of people. Very expensive. A lot of money is required that I don't have. If I want to live here, that's going to cost more money than I can really see myself making in the foreseeable future. So I'm gonna be leaving, which is a big deal for me because I've grown up here. I've spent all my life here, and I've moved once in my life, and it was literally down the street from one house. It was a whole thing about like just having a house that's more accessible to my grandparents with more things on one floor instead of having to go up and down stairs and all that. So the last time I moved was when I was like 12 years old, 11 or 12, down the street in the same neighborhood too. Literally a 90-second drive. And I'm gonna not be here anymore. At least not every day. Obviously, I still have family here. I still have friends here. So I imagine I'll be coming down pretty regularly. But it'll be me on my own somewhere else. I haven't quite decided where I'm gonna be yet, but it'll be a different city in Alberta. There's only two other options. There's Red Deer and Edmonton. And I have friends that are moving to Red Deer, and I have family up in Edmonton. And, you know, it's a difference of an hour and a half to Red Deer and 3 hours to Edmonton. To me, that's not a very daunting drive. I know some people that can seem like a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I'll just blast my tunes and boogie on down to town. But it's far, you know? It's a big move to be making when you first leave the house. To leave the city I grew up in and everything. Ugh, I won't have access to Peter's Drive-In, which is really the biggest crying shame. I'll do a 6-hour round trip for Peter's Drive-In. That's reasonable to me. The crazy thing is, though, is like, you know, I have memories around very specific parts of Calgary because I don't get out much. Like I haven't seen 90% of my own city, but you know, I have people here, and it's interesting because I didn't have people here a few years ago. A few years ago, if I was moving city, then I wouldn't be leaving anything behind. You know what I mean? I had nothing to leave behind, no one to leave behind. I was just going, and I was going to be fine. But in the last couple years, I've made friends with people. And there's some really lovely people. So now I actually have people that I'm leaving behind. And again, I keep having to remind myself, because I have a very do or die mentality in my brain. I'm not leaving them forever, just flashing deuces, poot, and then I scoot. I can always come back. They're all adults, and they can all come see me if they so desire. And yeah, all of this stuff, from not having a job, needing a job, but not having my car, my mom going into the hospital, realizing that I'm going to be moving out of my city in about 4 months is the timeline I'm operating under. And so I'm like, I need to have an income, but like I don't have a car. Oh, my mom's in the hospital. All of that occurred within 3 days. Most of it all happening on the Monday. I think me realizing I had my time frame for moving out was like the Friday before. So I'm in a period of rapid change right now, and change is something that's difficult for me. I don't handle it super well. You know, just part of autism. I like to have things be consistent, routine, expected, no surprises. Just a very repetitive day-to-day life is something that I really like. So just sort of conceptualizing all these massive life changes and the idea that I'm stepping into a whole new phase of life entirely, it's been on my mind a lot. It's been a bit consuming, but I feel like I'm coming out of the fog a little bit. I'm getting some plans together, some action plans, and just coming to terms. That's a bit dramatic, but you know, settling into the idea of all these changes that are going to occur in my life very quickly. And it was such a jarring shift from when I was editing freelance and then editing my own stuff. My work-life balance was all work, no life, which ended up meaning that my work was not as efficient and I didn't do as much of it or as good because I would just get overwhelmed or overworked and tired. And then immediately it went into all life, no work, because I was so overwhelmed with what life was throwing at me in such a short period of time. So now I'm just trying to find some kind of balance, and I'm trying to just be prepared for the new changes that are going to come, which is me getting a more standard day job, not doing freelance, you know, warehouse work or something. Just, I need work that people are always hiring so I can get it quick. Low standards so that I know I got the job, because I just need to be hoarding up my wealth. Need to hoard my gold for the next few months to prepare for moving out. And then I got to figure out how to get a job in a city that I don't live in yet. And I'm kind of looking at like Google career certificates to help me with like getting higher paying jobs. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's its own deal completely. I want to try out, because the reason I did freelance editing was because I wanted to have a job that was still in the YouTube sphere so that I could sort of be all encompassed in it. Now I'm kind of thinking that it would be interesting to try having a job that doesn't involve YouTube, just something else entirely, so that I'm not spending that particular energy on other people's YouTube channels. I'm not spending my YouTube and creative energy on other people's endeavors. I can hoard it all for myself. Just keep it all deep inside me. And then I can use whatever other muscles or intellect that I need to use for a day job. Sort of have a separation there. Go, get work, get paid, clock out, come home, and tool boy. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been uploading as consistently and properly as I would like to be doing. And the main reason for that is just like trying to find work-life balance, which is hard when you do freelance and you work in the same room that you also just live generally. It's hard to draw a hard line between my work hours, my leisure time, and my personal projects because it's all in the same room. So it all just feels like, you know, I'm doing this when I could be doing this, or I should be doing this instead. And it gets very muddied. So I think that it would be potentially helpful if I just did other things in the day job just to make money. If I made my money in something unrelated so that when it comes time to do YouTube, I'm just itching. I'm fiending to edit and post and do all sorts of that cool stuff. And given that I'm going to have to make some quick changes in the immediate future, finding new work, steadier work that pays better, and hoarding all my wealth, I'm not gonna make any promises about the consistency of my uploads. My goal is still 5 a week, and I think that that's well achievable, but I'm going to be adapting to a lot of changes over the next little while. So that's my goal. That's what I'm aiming for. It may not get there every time, or even most times, but it's good to have a goal. Even if you can't always reach it, at least you have something that you're shooting for. So there's going to be a lot of changes. These next 4 months I think are going to be tricky and stressful, but at the end of it all, I still have YouTube, I still got you guys, I still have a channel that is almost monetized, which is actually insane to think about. So it'll be good. I'll figure it out as time goes on. I am a methodical and slow individual. I don't move quickly. I need time to sit and think and just, plan, prepare, make sure I'm doing things in the best way that I can. So I'm gonna live my truth in that way, and we'll see what happens with it. So that's my life update. Things that are going down in my world. Ta-da. If you made it this far, I assume you're not a new subscriber, or else that is a weird introduction to me. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your continued support. Patreon down below if you feel so inclined. No pressure, but if you feel so inclined. There'll be links to other funnier, gamier videos in the end card, so stick around for that. Enjoy it. Click a playlist. Go crazy. My Doom playlists have been popping off recently, so go check it out. Why not? Have fun. But of course, as always, I love you, and hope you have a wonderful day.